Hey everybody, welcome in. We have a really special one here for episode 12. This is unreal. I've saw this 15 years ago, but you really should see it. You're going to have to trust us because we got all this computer equipment up and I didn't want to be pouring water around all this equipment. So just trust us on this one. This video is about this product, Best Trace Minerals from Phoenix Nutritionals at phoenixvitamins.com. This product is incredible. Athletes, weekend warriors take it. Normal people take it. It's pure plant-based essential colloidal trace minerals. And this is the experiment to see how powerful they really are.
That's right.
And so what we did is we have a glass of tap water, a glass of distilled water, and then we have a glass of the pure minerals right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to show you how when we put the circuit into the tap water, the light will not light up. Is that right?
It shouldn't.
And then if we put
definitely won't light up in distilled water.
Okay, and it definitely won't light up in distilled water.
We'll have to find out what happens if we stick it in the mineral.
And then we put it in the minerals to show you exactly what happens.
And hopefully it will be impressive.
All right. So let's do that first, and then let's talk about it.
All right.
All right.
All right. So, a brief description of what distilled water is.
Yeah.
Because most people don't know anymore. Because it used to be very common for various things. However, unfortunately, there are still people who drink distilled water because it's pure and they think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why it's a very, very bad thing. Distilled water has nothing in it. Nothing. No minerals,
vitamins, minerals.
No, nothing. And so what we call totally neutral.
Yeah.
Well, that's the most unnatural state for water to be in. And when you consume distilled water, it's going to travel through your system and it's going to start leaching minerals back into itself because distilled water is incredibly unnatural. And the nature of water is a suspension. So it's supposed to be suspending these things. But distilled water, which is still used in several things, like room humidors, humidifiers, and things like that. But for the most part, it should not be consumed on a regular basis. So let's have a look at what... Now understand that water, which you're about 68% water. The rest of you is some dust. But we're mostly water.
Yeah.
And understand that water is an insulator, so it doesn't conduct electricity, which is why water and electricity don't mix.
So water doesn't conduct electricity. Distilled water doesn't, but colloidal minerals do.
Well, we'll find out in a minute.
Okay.
All right. So that's what makes water and electricity so dangerous.
And you've often said that the human body is a bioelectrical organism.
Yes. The human body generates 1.5 volts of electricity. Where do you all think that comes from? Do you have a cord that you get? You have batteries? No. It comes through the interaction of minerals, what we call mineral interaction across an aqueous membrane, which basically means water. And so that's how the cells of your body get nutrients. So let's take the probe. Now what he has in his hands is two probes side by side. And they have broken the circuitry from the cord to the light bulb in half.
Yeah.
If we were to take something metal and put it across those two poles, that light bulb would light up full speed ahead.
Because then it's making the circuit complete.
It's completing the circuit.
Okay.
So, but because water by itself is basically an insulator, especially if we use distilled water, my prediction is when you stick that in the distilled water, nothing will happen.
Okay, so it's distilled water first.
Yeah.
Nothing happened to the light bulb.
Nothing happens because it's an insulator. And there's nothing in the water.
Oh, look, it barely just glows.
Yeah.
Barely.
Yeah.
Look at that, if you can see that on the camera.
Now we might be able to get a little bit more off of the tap water. This is good old San Diego tap water.
San Diego tap water is worse than the distilled.
There we go. It doesn't have anything in it. All right. Now, what if we had a liquid suspension that was
bioelectrical,
super concentrated with minerals, so much so that they can overpower the insulation of water and actually conduct electricity?
Okay.
So we're going to find out now. We're going to stick this in the best trace minerals.
Wow.
And you will see what happens. Because
so taking best trace minerals helps to electrify your body?
It helps generate the bioelectrical circuitry necessary for your brain, your heart, your nervous system, and so on and so on.
That's amazing. Look at that. So tap water, nothing. Distilled water,
just barely a hair.
Yeah, barely.
But look at that, folks.
Wow.
And when you have those minerals in your body and they interact with the 68% water that's in your body, they transport those nutrients, not just minerals, but vitamins and proteins and amino acids across what we call an aqueous membrane, which is the coating around every single cell of your body.
Wow. That's fascinating. So the standard American diet is so deficient in bioelectrical trace minerals, which is the one we're talking about. It to feed that circuitry, we have to supplement with minerals.
Pretty much. Because of farming techniques over the last nearly 100 years now, these vital trace minerals have never been replenished in our soil. And so every time a crop is grown, the plants take those minerals out, and then you do that 3 or 4 times a year for 60, 70 years, and those microscopic, tiny little trace minerals are pretty much depleted. And for that reason, you won't find hardly any of these trace minerals if you were to analyze anything grown, fruits, vegetables, grains, because what modern farming has learned, that through something called NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash or potassium, you can grow fantastic foodstuffs, vegetables, fruits, grains. You can get faster yield, shorter growing time, increased profits, because those are the minerals that are driving growth.
Yeah.
But they do not represent the 60-some odd trace minerals that are necessary for the bioelectrical activity of the cells of your body.
And so what's the science behind so many athletes, for example, like John Howard, the Olympic athlete, he's such a proponent of these minerals, and so many athletes we have take these minerals. How does that bioelectricity help athletes recover?
Well, what's happening is that if you cut yourself, and once the bleeding stops in a day or two, the wound will scab over.
Yeah.
And if you don't bump it and tear it and pick at it, pretty soon, depending upon your age and your health, that scab will fall off and you'll have all new skin under there.
Yeah.
The wound will have healed. Well, the process of reknitting cells to close a wound, to close an injury, requires the bioelectrical activity within the body. So if you have an injury, let's say you have a sprain.
So athlete, you have a sprain, you have something wrong.
Something wrong. You've injured yourself. You're overtrained.
Even broken bones.
Even broken bones. Robert Becker demonstrated that at the University of New York Hospital. Good Lord, 40, 50 years ago. He could accelerate the healing of bones by running a direct current through the bone. He could increase the healing time by 40%.
Fascinating.
And so the reason why athletes get excited about this stuff is because they can heal quicker, heal stronger, and get back to competing and training in far less time than if they don't do it. And that's because the bioelectrical nature of trace minerals is required to reknit wounds, repair damaged tissues. And when you have an adequate supply of that, you can accelerate the healing and recovery time.
Incredible. There it is, guys. Best trace mineral, phoenixvitamins.com. There's even a coupon code because we're celebrating 23 years in business. Check it out.
Stick that in there again.
All right, one last time. Here you go. Here's the tap water, nothing. Here's the distilled water, barely nothing.
Bingo.
And there it is.
So, folks, light up the inside of your chemistry.
Light up your life.
Light up your life and light up your body. You are an electrical organism, and you need to feed that. Why do you think so many people suffer from chronic fatigue?
Yeah.
There you are, right there. They got nothing to light up their bulb.
Dude, that's cool.